And if you got into a car accident and it was life-threatening, are you like, no, don't use the ambulance
No,
because
I'm good. It's too expensive. I'll be okay with that.
you're thinking save this child's life. So I think once
Yeah.
we start thinking about suicide in that way, that this is a medical emergency, then people can act accordingly.
Welcome to Journey to Joy Live, a podcast to promote wellness, resilience, and inspire joy. Be empowered to balance your mental, physical, financial, aspirational, and social health while providing mental health awareness and breaking down the stigma of mental illness in the Black community. I'm your host, Dr. If Joy, and I'm here to help you transform life's challenges into opportunities for joy. Let's begin the journey together.
Hello, we are in episode 117. Self-care is life care. We are preventing suicide with daily wellness. And this is not her first time. It's not her second time. It's her third time as guest on Journey to Joy Live, Dr. Aleema Zakers. Welcome back. So you're on episode 17 in New York and then episode 80. And then you said your favorite number was a 17, right?
So we're back for 117.
117. Catching the trend here.
Congrats.
Thank you. So if you look up like the awareness month for September in any month, it's like multiple awareness months. But the ones that I'm highlighting is Suicide Prevention Month and Self-Care Awareness Month. So we are merging those two because self-care and daily wellness is like life care and can heal you potentially and save a life. And so we as psychiatrists, we're very comfortable talking about uncomfortable things. People don't like talking about suicide and death, but we got to get comfortable talking about uncomfortable things so that we can save a life. So, not everybody's seen you on here, so go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us what you do.
I'm Aleema Zakers, and I'm a child and adolescent psychiatrist, board certified in adult and adolescent, and I founded Lakshmi Health and Wellness, and we are merging this idea of wellness into mental health, but taking it to like the next level.
Oh, what's the next level? Tell me more.
So the next level is more of like that mindfulness and yoga and using that as a tool for like actual mental and physical wellness. And in addition to if we need meds or supplements or whatever else, very utilitarian. Whatever works, that's what we're going to do.
I love that because people get scared to come to a psychiatrist because they think we're going to throw some pills at them. But literally, you and I, we don't do that. We're bringing therapy, self-care, wellness, yoga, breathing, and all the things because that is really helpful. And, medication if you really, really need it, but you don't always need medication.
Yeah, especially when we're dealing with kids and stigma in our communities about these things and really meeting people where they are at and trying what speaks to them, like, okay, this can work for me. I can do this. And they have that skin in the game and they're realizing that they're the ones doing the work and they're not using something external to fix them. I think that's very empowering and helpful. I think one of the big public health failures is that in psychiatry, people think something external is going to fix them.
Not always the case.
Yeah. Like they still have to do the work. Even if we can like bring it down a notch, they still have to do the work. Otherwise it just doesn't work,
It takes the internal work. Yeah. The medication, unlike antihypertensive, it brings down your blood pressure. The medication for depression, anxiety doesn't always fix it 100%. So constantly I'm talking about
bread and butter is at least not wanting to die and wiping your butt, right? Like these are the bread and butter of antidepressants. Other than that, it's kind of at least you're alive and you're clean, you're eating and sleeping. Got basic stuff. The meds can do that. Everything else you got to do.
Exactly. You gotta change your mind, renew the mind,
Yeah,
refresh the
yeah.
mind, reset it, all the things.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll just, okay, how much of this are you willing to let go of right now, right? Because
Mhm,
some people have told themselves this story that they're sick for so long, that
mhm.
they don't have any other story to tell themselves. How much are you willing to let go of? You're sick, okay. What about what area are you good at? Can we expand that? Are you also good in this and all these things? Just you where they're already at to like expand and grow.
Yeah, like that learned helplessness. They're just used to being sad, used to being in the dumps. They don't know what happiness looks like, and some people kind of fear it, or they just don't believe they can ever get to that place.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I've had kids be like, yep, I guess this is as good as it gets. I'm like, no, boo boo.
Yeah.
This is not okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't be better than this. They're like, really? No one has ever told me that. I don't know why.
Right. That you experience it. I mean, that hope can be what actually helps you get to your joy just by purely just knowing, like, yeah, you can get there. I don't know.
It's true. It's true. And I think that's kind of sometimes, especially with kids, it's just an escape. You're feeling trapped and I can kill myself. That's an escape. And then
Oh,
some people are
yeah.
telling themselves, and this is the story, well, if
Mhm.
it doesn't work out, at least I can do this. So sometimes what we'll do is say, okay, what other escapes can you have? Does it have to be death? I mean, can you join the circus?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, get your mind on something else. I mean, because like, although it feels like forever, I mean, it really is temporary. So using a permanent solution like suicide.
yeah, but if you
Oh.
start to get them to think about other
Mhm.
ways to escape and they can realize, oh, this is a way that in my mind
Yeah.
I can escape the trappedness. And if I can,
Mhm.
oh, I don't have to be trapped. I can legit like go join, Cirque du Soleil because I'm flexible. Right? Like,
So that's their way to escape.
right. You can escape. You don't have to be in this life. You don't have to be going to the school. You don't these are things that you are choosing to do day to day. And or
Mm.
you're not choosing to like do your work,
Mhm.
do all of these things. Yes, it may be hard to do
Mhm.
other things, and we're not saying that
Mhm.
work. That's why we
Yeah.
call it work. But
Yeah. Therapeutic work.
but they are choices that you make on a daily basis.
Yeah. For sure, for sure. So you're both a psychiatrist and a yoga instructor. So at what point, led you to merge traditional medicine with yoga and wellness practices
Well,
in
I
your approach to
actually did some mission trips, and one of them was in
Wow.
India, and I was at a
Mm.
clinic that had a yogi and an Ayurveda doctor there. So they already merged it, and I was like, "Wow, this is awesome. I need to learn this." And so I stayed and learned yoga from the master there.
Oh yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I remember you talking about that last time. I'm sure somebody's on here like, oh, really? She did all that. That is so cool. Yeah. Well, let's get right in. So, how can self care practices like yoga and mindfulness actually play a role in preventing depression and from escalating from suicide?
But I think all of it I don't think it's anything new. Your grandma
Yeah.
told you need to eat well and get some sleep. Like, none of
Mm-hmm.
this stuff is new. We didn't invent any of this stuff. Taking care of your body, getting
Hmm.
fuel, and I tell patients, you can't drive to Florida without any gas, right? Like, you gotta put fuel in
Right.
the tank to be able to get to your
Then
destination.
you
That's
can't
the
do
same
that.
with your body and your brain. You gotta feed it so it can get to your destination. Your brain's not gonna work right if you don't rest it and it'll overheat if you would go with the car analogy and all these things, right? So
Hmm.
just the basic things. Like I've had people who they were basically sleep deprived, but did not know it. And they
Mm.
just kids, obvious. Well, I hope it's obvious that it's kids. I hope adults are not
It can be adults too.
right? Like, but They were just like, "Yeah, it takes me a really long time to do, like, the simplest programs. I can't concentrate. I have to, like, reread. I'm doing all this. I'm sluggish. I don't have energy." I'm like, "Okay, how many hours are you getting of sleep?" "Maybe 4, but then I'll try to get a nap." I'm like,
Oh, wow.
"Enough. Maybe you can do that pull that for a night or 2 'cause
Yeah.
long, but you can't do that. It's not a long-term thing that you can do." And really, they just started sleeping properly and they were fine. They didn't need
Yeah.
like
I mean, lack of sleep is huge. I mean, insomnia, there could be many reasons why they're not sleeping, but that's huge. It's
yeah, but it's
unhealthy.
just it was purely sleep hygiene. Not even that they had problems
Wow.
going to sleep, except for that they
Oh,
wanted
sleep hygiene. Well, especially if it's a teenager, because I even ask
they
teenagers, I'm
wanted to
like,
stay up, they wanted to study, they
yeah.
wanted to do this.
Mhm.
That, but I mean, they were, like, stressed out because of these exams and all of this stuff, and they gotta
Mm.
study, but then now it's taking, like, 5 hours to do the homework because 'cause they're sleep deprived, when it really if you got some sleep, it would take you
If you prioritized it, because people don't prioritize it. They feel like they need
30.
to, like, disrupt their sleep in order to get the thing.
Yes, and then you throw off your sleep, and it's a whole cycle, right? So, just like people with serious mental illness, the first thing and every psychiatrist will always ask you about sleeping out. Like, every psychiatrist, because it's that important to your mental health. Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
those are, like, basic things that your grandma tells you, right? Like,
Yeah.
"Are you eating, baby?"
Exactly, and that's the main thing people don't wanna do the work for. They wanna get a medication to help them sleep, and I'm just like, "Look, what did you do all this sleep hygiene?"
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know, whatever works. The yoga at night, exercising can help.
Yeah.
Candles, baths, reading, whatever it is.
Do what works for you, right? But
Mhm.
but do it, and then some people we gotta remind them, and I like to have accountability checks, like, "Okay, because last time you had told me that this worked really well, but now you're saying you're not doing it anymore, and you're feeling like this." They're like, "Oh, I know, you're right." Like, "Okay, look, you know this, I'm just reminding you, go ahead and do you." You know, like
Yes,
you gotta know the formula to your own success. What makes you successful, you know? And so we start to catalog and say, "Okay, when I'm eating well, when I'm sleeping well, this is the results that I get." And remember that when you're stressed because those are the first things that goes. You stop eating properly, eating fast food or not eating at all, or, like, doing whatever, you're not sleeping properly, you're not exercising, you cut all the things that your body actually needs
healthy thing.
out and
Yeah,
think it's going to perform better somehow.
yeah,
Not very
yeah,
logical, but definitely always the first thing that goes. So just reminding yourself, have accountability buddies, and they can remind you, "You're a little off. Have you been eating right? Did you exercise?" Like
exactly, especially if they know you and what works for you.
yeah, exactly. Sometimes if, like, I'll go running and I'm like, "Oh, that's what was wrong with me. I just needed a good run." You know?
Exactly.
Like, I was a little off, and that's what was wrong. I just
I already know. I mean, you might call it, like, obsessive. I run every day. I'm like, I already know what happens if
okay, watch your knees there, sister, watch your knees.
well, you know what? They say you should take a day off, but think about this. If I work out on Tuesday morning and then Wednesday night, that's 36 hours in between. Take a day off.
Rationalizing. That is an example of for the guests, that's an example of rationalization.
It's the day off.
This is her coping mechanism. Now we
Yeah,
know.
okay, okay. Well, yesterday I got on the bike, so maybe I should say I exercise every day, but maybe it's not running every day.
Okay, there you go. So my
True.
coping is humor, yours is rationalization, now that we've established.
And humor. I love to laugh. In
Right.
fact, I even laugh with my patients, and ooh, that
I
backfired
have a whole
yesterday.
yoga that's just laughing. Like, that's what the
Oh,
yoga session is because
what?
that adage is that kids laugh so much during the day, and that's what gives them energy and pep and, gets their neurotransmitters going, and so if you can recreate that, then you can have, like, a fountain of youth type of thing. So I've done some of these yoga classes,
Oh, so what you doing yoga poses while laughing? Or you
you're,
watching
like,
something?
laughing. like, during, like, 30 minutes of laughing. So
So
sometimes
not actual poses. I always
right.
think there's
The whole thing is laughing, but you stop thinking about other stuff, and then, like, there, the instructor was, like, laughing funny, so then that would be funny, and then you're like
you're just laughing, like, no one's there telling jokes to make you laugh.
no, you're, like, laughing. The whole point is just to, like, laugh. And then
Oh, man.
somehow things are funny in the room, and then it kind of becomes a little bit more natural, but it's very weird when you go into the laughing yoga, just like, "Okay, so now you laugh." Like, "Yes, start laughing." And then,
Well, see, your laughter in and of itself is contagious, and anytime you're talking, you have a smile on your face. Like, when you're talking to patients, do you have a smile on your face?
so my husband was like, "I don't know if this is professional. You'd be laughing at the store when you're
Right.
is that, like, but, when you can relate to patients, that's this thing. Psychiatrists started getting this blank face because it's better not to show artificial emotion than it is to show like, it's better to show nothing if you can't be genuine. But if you can be genuine, that is way better, and kids will not let you get away with that. Kids are
Exactly.
not gonna let you get away with, like but, I think the only time I really am, like, have this kinda more stern blank is if we're talking about trauma or if the situation,
Yeah.
like, is suicide stuff, I'm not popping jokes.
Mhm.
Those are like, okay, you go into your, problem solve mode. Is this a situation? Do I need to hospitalize you? Like, what's happening right
Right, right, and that's kinda like the joke,
I
yeah.
would switch that, but in general, you should be able to be personable because people are telling you their intimate things, and to be able to treat them properly, they're the best knower, they have to let you in on that information, or you're not gonna be able to treat them properly. So, if you
Yeah.
have, like, a safe, inviting, validating space, that takes genuine emotion.
Mhm. For
So,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, you're not a robot. You can't be a robot as a
Yes.
psychiatrist.
Yeah, unless you're adult psychiatrist, they don't
Well, and I think that throws people off sometimes because my humor in sessions, people get it and they laugh and they accept it. But I had one encounter yesterday, and it was the first encounter ever where the parent didn't get it, and they were actually offended. And I was just like,
oh,
"You
no.
know what?" Yeah, it actually went way downhill after that too.
Oh,
I'm not
no.
even joking. I'm not even joking. Like, I had to go through some reset at the end of that session. And some self-care, my own self. But I told myself, I'm like, "It's not me. It was not me. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay."
that's good. Some peer review that.
Oh gosh, yeah, I could debrief with you when we not on online, but oh Lord, psychiatrists need to ground and self-care too, and so it's my
Yeah,
favorite
and
to say.
because there's, like, secondary trauma is a real thing,
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
And I actually like dealing with trauma because I feel like I can actually help people.
Mhm.
I even got training in EMDR, the eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, and found it to be really helpful, especially because the brain is so malleable when they're younger, that
Yeah.
it works a lot faster and it's a lot easier on them and me. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's
yeah.
true. Yeah, stuff that we advise. I just did talk last week to mental health professionals, and I asked, what is some advice that you give patients that you never do? Because there are things that we tell patients that we don't even do ourselves. And that used to be grounding for me. I wouldn't do it. And then I started doing it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this works. My five senses. Oh,
Yes, I'm definitely a bit protective of my sleep because I know if I'm off, the whole house is gonna be off because I'm that kind of anchor and doing all of that. So I need to be well rested to handle all the things that happen. So so when I'm well rested, I get up, I still do my meditation, ground before the house becomes chaos.
oh my gosh, you have to do that. And like all of this about this self-care thing, that's the thing. You have to have a self-care routine in
Yeah.
place. You don't wait till the bad thing happens. When the bad thing happens, you got something else in place for that. But you have to have your regular routine to just
Mhm.
maintain.
Yeah, but I think some people find it difficult to maintain a routine, and it's
Correct.
really easy to get off, but
Yeah.
harder to, like, get back into it. So,
Mhm.
having those, like, accountability buddies or doing stuff with other people, checking in, I think is
Mhm.
really helpful, and leaning on your support system because they can help you with that kind of accountability, like, "When's the last time you ran?" But having those people
Yeah.
who can really, that you really trust in that way, because you don't want someone to be like, "What you eat?" Right? Like, that's not helpful.
Judging you, right. It's someone you'll listen to.
Right, but, like yeah, but, like, more caring and, like, "Okay, let's cook dinner and we'll cook this new recipe together," right?
Mhm.
Or something like this, and a lot of times the college students, especially when they are getting off or it's midterm, like, get your friends together, you cook 1 meal a week, and everyone just cooks 1 meal a week, you guys share it.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
yeah. So then they can, like, maintain that and still
Mm.
have, like, quality foods.
And that sense of community and social connectedness helps.
Exactly, especially for the students who are not, like, um, native to the US or
Mm.
to this area, that really kind of helps and gets them kind of grounded too. Especially if they can have people who eat the same type of foods or
Yeah.
they're used to, that's really grounding for them.
For sure, and, some people think that self-care is like a luxury, and that's a really dangerous mindset when you feel like, "Oh, I don't have the money to do practice my self-care. I don't have the luxury. That's
But
just for people who are
I
rich."
think also when you talk about self-care, it depends on, like, what you're saying exactly.
Yeah.
'Cause, some of the stuff can be, but the basic stuff is free. Like,
What are those basic stuff? Because some people really don't know. We're not always talking
are
about
ba
Friday.
you
Huh?
don't need sleeping and eating are basic, like, exercising, you really don't need to have a gym membership to exercise,
Correct.
So, I mean, those things are basic and can be free. So
Mm.
even
The
when
sun is free.
right, and sometimes, like, I'll tell the student, they're like, "Oh, I can't afford these classes and, like, exercise classes or whatever." I'm like, "Get a group of friends together, have a little YouTube video of exercise you guys like, and do it together. There you go, group yoga." Everyone
There it is.
like, I mean, everything doesn't have to be, like, super expensive or any of that stuff. I mean, we had one, I was in Egypt
Ooh.
for what was that? For GI. I was in Egypt
Mhm.
for GI and
For
there
rotation.
huh? Yeah,
For
for rotation,
rotation.
and there's, like, a brilliant surgeon there who was, like, in her 20s and already in residency, and, the guys did not like that whatsoever. Like, they were, like, hating on her hard, and they were, like, putting her on call all the time, so I was like, "Yeah, let's get together." We went to the call room, we had the little thing for your
Mm.
feet, we did a makeshift
Yeah.
nail salon, we did each other's
Ooh.
hair. Like, groups and community really help you get through these things, and it didn't take a lot. Someone had the foot thing, someone else had something for the nails, everyone has nail polish, So, like, we just got together and did the
Aw.
thing and brought it to her. So all
Wow.
of those type of things, like, you're socializing,
Mhm.
plus you're taking care of that extra little level of yourself, and,
Mhm.
like, bringing it all together, and you just feel better when you feel put together.
For sure. Now, if someone's thinking like, okay, you say self-care, life care, if they're suicidal, they're actively suicidal, of course, call 988, do all those things. But can they actually practice yoga or some type of wellness to get them out of that headspace?
So, yes, but what we try to do is engage the frontal lobe. So because when you're in that mode, in crisis mode, and it's not always suicidal, it could be anger or rage or any of those. Your
Mm.
frontal lobe is not engaged. That is like primitive fight or flight. You're seeing red. you're not with us. Like,
Yeah, right.
engage the frontal lobe, and different people can do it in different ways. But if you can engage that frontal lobe, then you go back to that higher level reasoning and thinking mind. So some ways we do that is have them solve problems or like
Mhm.
they can like solve some problem. It can be small or big, like some multiplication, something like helpful, like just get them into a different mindset.
Yeah.
Then they can kind of snap out of it, engage the frontal lobe to like get back to the right mind, their thinking
That's
mind.
good. That's
Yep.
good. Yeah, I mean, because the problem is that you get stuck in this space, and so it's a matter of getting out of that. So whether it's the grounding, but switching yourself over. I love that.
Yeah, you gotta engage that frontal lobe, and maybe it's like those breaths because you have to count them. So you're
Yeah.
engaging that through the counting, because cavemen were not doing multiplication. So,
Okay,
like,
man, we're doing deep breathing though.
yeah. No,
Man, yeah, fight or flight.
exactly. But if you're taking those short, shallow breaths, you're not getting oxygen to your brain, right?
Yeah.
So you need to get oxygen to your brain for it to work properly. So that is one, you're getting oxygen with the deep breathing, plus you're counting. Like, let's say you're doing box breathing, 4 in, hold for 4, exhale for 4,
Yeah.
for at the bottom, right? So that you're engaging your frontal lobe and engaging your lungs, getting oxygen to your brain.
Mm.
All of this is like the science behind it, but if
Mhm.
you actually do it properly in that moment, then that's why it can work.
Oh, that's good. So that's pretty simple. Like if somebody was with a family member or a friend that was going through that, they can just tell them to do box breathing, you think?
It depends on what state and their relationship
Yeah.
with the person, right? Like, one, especially if it's like a trauma situation or fight or flight or something like that, the thing that they need to do is feel safe.
Yeah.
Person does not feel safe, and then first step from any trauma, they need to feel safe in the situation.
Mhm.
So that is the first thing. So if they're someone who responds to touch, you just need to like hold them and say, I got you, you're safe, I'm here.
Mhm.
They just need to feel safe
Yeah.
in that moment. And then you can start to like use some of these other tools. But especially with those things, they just need to feel safe.
Oh, that's really good. So once they feel safe, maybe they can be in a
Yes.
space to be able to receive like any type of.
Yes. And a lot of times, unfortunately, in the communities now that we serve, you're seeing so much trauma. People don't even realize
Yeah.
it's trauma. So
Mhm.
I would always go into a situation probably assuming that there's some trauma behind it, because you can't go wrong with that. Like,
Yeah. So
everyone has experienced bad things, right? Everyone can respond to feeling safe and comforted. But that doesn't mean that you can touch them, depending on what kind of trauma
yeah.
and who you are in that situation. But you need them to feel like safe and calm and protected, whatever that means to them.
Mhm. Yeah, that's so important. I love it. Yeah, because a lot of people just feel uncomfortable. And QPR, I was talking about that last week. It's like the CPR for crisis intervention. So question, persuade, refer. And so a lot of people don't know what to do when they have a friend or a family member in crisis. So just asking the question like, hey, do you want to hurt yourself? Persuading them to get help and then helping refer them
Uh-uh.
to get help is extremely important.
After you do all this other stuff. And they
Exactly.
and they can actually talk.
Right, because it'd be hard, like, "Okay, let me just get you some help." I should persuade them if they're, like, holding the knife right there.
Yeah, and sometimes just holding the space with them
Mhm.
without too much stimuli. So a lot of times we'll dim the lights if that's possible, or get people
Mm.
away, give them space, have the noise needs to come down. decreasing the stimuli can make people feel safer too. So you
Mhm.
just make the environment safer. Like kids, sometimes if they already have a stuffy, give them the stuffy, like give them a blanket, make them feel warm, comfortable in that situation. Do you need water? Do you need like just physically comfortable? Because a
Yeah.
lot of times for meditation to happen, we start from kind of the outside in, thinking about your physical body, then your breathing, then you can now manage your thoughts and those and
Wow.
emotions.
That's good. Outside in. So your environment, making sure you're safe, then your physical body, your comfort, and then going on the inside. That's good. I
It's
would
been around for thousands of years. Who knew? I know when I
I
started residency for psychiatry, they're like, "You're a natural." I was like,
Yeah. And at what point were you in India? Did you
that
say
was between medical school and residency.
Oh,
Uh,
so that's why by the time you got there, they're like, "Oh, you know some
Yeah,
stuff."
like
Hmm.
you're a natural. Like
I got
this
them
is not new stuff. None of this is new. None of it.
right, right. It's just a matter of doing it. It's like a lot of us know
But
it.
it's also a matter of, like, the frame of reference you're coming from too. If you
Mhm.
feel like this is an other outside Western white thing, then you may not be super receptive to it. If you feel like this is
Mhm.
a traditional medicine, some people are more receptive. It's the same stuff.
True.
It's the same stuff. It's just like and so that's also why it's important to have people who you can trust and look like you, who can understand things from different points of views, because I wouldn't just say that just because someone looks like you, they
Yeah.
understand where you're coming from,
Yeah.
but I think in general, you just need someone who's open and minded enough to listen to where you're coming from and to step in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the key. And that's where therapy can come in at if you just really don't have anyone in your life like that, you know?
But
Okay.
even if you do, you don't always want people in your life to know all this stuff about you.
Exactly.
So or you don't wanna burden them because what can they do? But at least if you're going to a professional, it is their job to know to help you to navigate this and to know what to do about it. But just like I tell kids, like, these thoughts are heavy, right? These are really serious thoughts, and it's too much
Yeah.
for you. It's gonna be too much for someone your age too. This is an
Mhm.
adult. This is the time to bring an adult in the conversation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're thinking these or a peer is thinking these, that's an adult level situation. That's when it's time to bring in adults, bump all of this solidarity. I
No.
this is like
Keep it in, that makes it worse. No.
yeah, but they don't that's not how their minds work. They're like, "I
Yeah.
could do it. I don't wanna be a burden. I'm viewed as perfect kid," or, "I don't wanna make it's already hard. I don't wanna make it harder. I can handle it." This is the things we
Oh,
hear all
yeah.
the
That's how burnout comes, more stress, then depression, then like, "Oh, if I'm a burden, then I might as well take myself out." And
time.
that's you gotta change your way of thinking 'cause it easily
Yes,
yeah.
but those are for sure adult level conversations, but those aren't always like, you're telling people in your family, they may not know. You know, like, go see someone about you know, like
Well, yeah, and some people are like, "Oh, no, you're not depressed. You're okay." And it's kinda like, "Oh, I'm not?" And then
what?
you go back to yourself and just
But
like
I think it's partly also because it's a heavy thing for them to deal with too. Like, if
Mhm.
that's true, what does that mean for that other person or that mother or that
They're
your kid
scared.
grew up like this? And what does that mean about you? Is it easy
Mhm.
to say this is not true, it's a cry for help or
It
then
makes you feel like you have to be strong or that you're weak to say you're depressed when someone says
mhm.
that. And
Yeah, but
it's a matter of
the
education.
parents themselves, they're just like the kid says, "Okay, I don't feel great, I'm depressed." I'm like, but that says something about their parent, right? They may feel like that, like, you don't want your kid to say that to you, right? like you, what did I miss? What didn't I do? What
Oh, right. Then they put it on themselves, and then so they get
Yeah,
scared,
so
and
it's
then
easier for them to be like,
anger.
not true than
Right, it has nothing to do with you. The child is just feeling that way. Well, maybe it has something to do with you. Maybe it does, but don't take it, offense, right
it's
now.
true,
They
but it
need
takes
help.
a certain amount of courage
Mhm.
for the parent to admit that there's something wrong with their child.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of guilt there.
Yeah, but it takes courage too. No one wants to feel like there's something wrong with their child. "Oh, you're fine. We I've had more trauma than you. This is nothing."
Oh, and then there's that. Exactly. Yeah, because we keep saying that the cul-de-sac kids growing up with hood parents, right? So we like, oh, you didn't have to take the train 9 hours to school like me. You just go to the bus stop. And it's kind of like, okay, we feeling like what they dealing with is not as bad as what we dealt with. But
Yes. But that's also not acknowledging. It's easier not to acknowledge and deal with because it's hard. You never dealt with your own stuff.
avoid it.
You don't know how to deal with it, or you may have dealt with your own stuff. So the
Yeah.
kid's coming to you and you can't even deal with it yourself. How is that working?
Or
Right.
you're triggered and you're re-traumatized. I was listening to that trauma. So we just all need to go on and get the therapist.
I can't deal with this, right? And that's the kid's biggest fear, that they're gonna tell their parent, they're not gonna have this response. Like, I had someone today, like, I actually talked to my parents, and they handled it way better than I thought.
Someone said people fear the idea of losing custody of their kids due to a mental health diagnosis. That's unfortunately real. That you would fear the custody, but it's not your fault if someone has a mental health diagnosis.
I don't think I mean, I haven't seen it. I mean, that someone will take your kid away because they develop a mental they can't even
I've
take
heard
it when
someone
they get beat.
that actually happened. That actually did happen. Like it was a big thing.
Yeah,
At one of the places I work at. I want that to be obvious, but yeah,
that
that was
would
a big
happen.
where the parent. I think it was a custody issue between like the two parents, and so the one kid kept saying they were suicidal, and the parent was just like, "No, they're not suicidal. We need to clean this up." And we're like, "What do you mean? If they're
No, no, no,
suicidal?"
that's different. It's not because the kid was had a mental health, that's because that's medical neglect.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They
Those are
feel
2 different things, don't confuse those.
no, 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 we're talking about the same thing because 'cause they're saying that if they have a mental health issue, they fear their child's gonna get taken away
If the
because
adult has one,
oh, I don't think it said if the adult has one.
if the child has one.
Yeah, if the child has a mental health
So, what
care.
if you don't treat it? That's just like if the kid has appendicitis and you don't take him to the hospital, yes, we're gonna take your child.
Well,
It's
yeah, then it
medical
really
neglect.
would be an issue. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So
So
you're
in that
here.
situation, they were saying, "No, no, you don't have anything." That means they're not getting treatment. So that's considered medical neglect. Yes, we will take that.
Got yeah, right, yeah, if you're actually not taking them. Correct.
Yes, because you don't want people to know and you're not treating it, that's medical neglect. It's not
But
because
then
they have an illness.
correct. It's not that, but the stigma makes people in fear that it
Yes,
could
it's
happen.
only
It's like
yeah,
a
that's why I
like
wanna clear it up. It's only if you're not getting them treatment, it's considered medical neglect.
oh, wait a minute. Okay, so if the adult has one, okay,
If
got
the
it.
adult
So
has
yeah,
one
so you
and
were
it's not
saying
treated, it's still the same thing.
so
It has
like
to
if
be
the
treated.
right, because we were saying that the adults who don't get treated and their kid comes up to them, they're depressed, and then activates their depression. And so then I guess they fear that their child will get taken away if they're depressed and they can't take care of their kid. That's what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All of it. Anytime you have a medical problem and you don't get it treated, that's and or that you aren't treating your child's medical issue, those are all problematic. Yes,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
not a safe environment. So,
Yeah.
yes. But just because someone has a diagnosis
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything. In fact, people who are in treatment are less likely to hurt themselves. It's the people who don't get help that
Yeah. They're more likely who suffer in
yeah,
silence.
exactly, who
Yeah.
commit suicide and die from it.
Yeah. But all these not little fears, these big fears are real because there's people who are undocumented. They don't want to take their child to the hospital because they're fear of getting deported. They don't have insurance. They're fear of a big medical bill. And, all those things are real. But at the end of the day, if your child's suicidal and they're going to take themselves out, you're not going to worry about a medical bill anyway because they're dead. So it's like, we got to take them there.
Yeah. So I think that's true. But I think we have to reframe it as this is a medical emergency.
Yeah.
As opposed to a mental health issue. Because for some reason people don't take it the same. Like, when you're in residency and you had these hospitalized kids and people will be like, well, it's gonna mess up our vacation. What?
Let's be true. We all had some type of thought that way. Like, oh, why you got this ear infection? I got to take you to the doctor. We all had these thoughts, but you still do it. You still take it.
Exactly. So, if you got into a car accident and it was life-threatening, are you like, no, don't use the ambulance?
No, I'm good. It's too expensive. I'll be okay with that.
We're thinking save this child's life. So I think once we start thinking about suicide in that way, that this is a medical emergency, then people can act accordingly.
And believing that they're not doing it just to get attention. Because then you're just like over it. Because if you think they're doing it.
I don't even know what does that mean though?
I'm just telling you all the things I've heard. People think their child is for attention.
Was that on Netflix, 13 Reasons or something? The letters, all that. We had a spike in kids killing themselves because of that. But but what is that saying? That if so let's say I think you're saying that you want to kill yourself because you want attention. Right? Like, let's say that.
Yeah, or people think the cutting, like, they want to show you can't see depression.
But let's say that I'm thinking you're just saying that you're suicidal because you want attention.
Okay.
How deprived of attention is that child if they have to resort to that?
Well, don't you have patients who willingly say, I wasn't suicidal, I was just angry, so I said it?
I don't. Nope, you said it, you're going to the hospital.
Well, no, they do. And so when I'm interviewing them, I'm like, okay, but if you weren't really suicidal, you were just angry, but look at where you ended up.
No.
So let's choose another thing to say.
Maybe, but I believe it. I always.
No, yeah, they should go. Right. Correct.
No, but I even believe that kid was suicidal at the time, right? They're just backtracking the family, the embarrassment, the negative attention.
Okay.
Want to be there, right? Like everyone like, no, I'm fine. It was just impulsive. What does that mean? No, none of that.
Well, I never thought of that.
All of these things make it worse, not better.
Yeah, that's true.
It's you got so hungry that you tried to commit suicide.
Not try, but stay. Now, if you try, now I'm not going for it. You actually try, you really meant to, or you were impulsive, but you didn't, you could have killed yourself. So you're going somewhere. But yeah, if you said it, then it's kind of like a gray area there. But I hear you.
None of it's gray.
Oh, they were going to the hospital.
Medical emergency, you're going. No, you don't play with that.
You shouldn't say it. There's other things.
You can't.
I'm frustrated. I'm angry, and I want to kill myself. Yeah, exactly.
The only time I'll take that is maybe with an autistic kid, just because they're like very literal and they actually not. And then you teach them these are the words that you situation.
No, that's
fine.
That's real. Because you don't just have I want to kill myself at the tip of your tongue. You've been thinking about it. Now it's coming out because you're angry. You're right.
Yeah. You've gotten to some, and even in the progression of suicidality, first you're thinking about it, then you start to practice and have different ways. And there's like a progression of thought, right?
Yeah.
So to the point where you're screaming it out or saying it out loud.
Yeah.
That's a progression.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous progression.
For sure.
And we need to like identify and treat that. And sometimes that's how kids come to mental health treatment. But they are really that hopeless and desperate.
Yeah.
And so if we don't take them seriously at that point, they can die.
Mhm. Oh, and just be gone, they done.
They're gone. And the first attempt is usually successful.
Wow. Yeah, especially for boys. They use the lethal methods. Girls are starting to use that too now. Yeah.
It's true. It's
Have you
true.
ever lost a patient to suicide?
Not a not in my office, but not my actual patient.
Yeah, I did in 2021, and it was, the therapist called me, she was crying, I was like, "Whoa, what happened?" And it was the worst, it was the worst. It's
Yeah.
like, I thought she was on a good path, and
How old was the patient?
she was 16.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah. Remember her first and last name, remember that. It's terrible, and the parents, obviously, she was in care. She was on medication. She was in therapy. And
mm,
it's like, for some people who really have that on their mind, it seems like there's nothing you can do to stop it. But that's why we really gotta help them do the work and be there for them and support them because it is preventable. That's what they always
mhm,
talk about. It is
mhm,
preventable, but it's like you really feel like you took a loss.
mhm,
Patient.
mhm. Yeah, and that's I think also, like, there I feel like, it's always gonna be some regret around that too. What
Mhm.
shoulda, we coulda
Mhm.
done this, we coulda done that, and you don't want to put yourself in that situation. Do what you can when you can do it.
Mhm.
Um, there was a patient at, Georgia Tech who was lost to follow-up, but he had a rough semester, didn't fail anything, but his parents were on him about the grades, and he bought a gun that day, went in front of his parents, and shot his brains out in front of his parents.
Mm, God, that's the worst.
What? That's insane.
What are you thinking? Like, I don't know, and this is a non-psychiatrist thing for me to say, 'cause some people say, like, that's the
The
most
parent
thing
thing?
to do.
Are you putting on your parent hat now?
I'm putting on my parent I'm taking on my psychiatrist, 'cause a lot of people feel like suicide is a selfish thing, right? Because there's people but they're not thinking that. They have a depressive disease. But then, yeah, when I'm thinking about doing it when you do it in front of parents too, it's just like, you wanted to hurt or you weren't thinking.
It's
I don't
all
know.
of
I'll put my psychiatrist out
it. But
there.
I want people to realize that it's not just depression. Anxiety and trauma can cause these thoughts too.
Yeah.
And schizophrenia
Self-confusion.
is an anxiety disorder, but has a big part of depression because what happened to you is
Yeah.
suddenly, right?
Yeah.
So, but people get so anxious and don't want to live like that, right?
Mhm. It's not
So it's not just
it's unbearable.
depression, people that and listen to people when they tell you who they are. Believe them.
Yeah. And drunkicidal is a real symptom. It should be in the DSM. People get drunk and they're suicidal. I literally told a patient the other day, I was like, "Okay, so you were drunkicidal." Like, I said it with a serious face.
Right?
And he laughed. He was like, "Yep." I'm like, "You
Mm-mm.
still could have taken yourself out."
Exactly, exactly, and that's the worst because the alcohol or drugs, those are the worst, and people think weed is helpful, but it's a depressant. Alcohol is a depressant. They exacerbate all of these negative things, so they're not helping. It's
Mhm.
fake, just so
All right.
your body can get addicted, right?
Let's just end on the high here. I'm thinking about the parents. I'm like, "Oh, Lord."
I know, in front of the parents,
Oh,
you
man.
can't unsee that,
But
right?
see, I'm glad we telling these stories. It's like that's why we all gotta get out here and talk and get people help and get this stigma out of here. QPR, question, persuade, prefer, refer. Get therapy.
It's
Like, it's
and the
ridiculous.
parents hate you for going, but afterwards they're like, "Yeah, I really needed that." Like, one, student had she was in middle school, and we hospitalized her, and she said if we hadn't done it that day, she was gonna go home. She had everything ready, and she told the mom where her suicide box was while she was in the
Mhm.
hospital, and they were able to, like, collect
Mhm.
it and do all that, but she was gonna do it, like, she was that serious, and no one realized that she was that ill, but since we
Wow.
err on the side of caution, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and, I was talking about that last week, how there's some type of relief or, like, a little bit of increase in mood right before suicide because you start to feel like, "Okay, I'm doing this,
I
and
gotta
I
out
did it."
because you have an escape. That's where Cirque du Soleil comes in. But,
Right.
some people need that escape plan. Like, if you feel trapped, that's not ideal for humans. So, having different ways, like, I don't have to live like this. I can actually pick up and change this. I don't have to work in this toxic environment. I can get a new job. Like, I don't have to be here. I think that's one thing, like in college, if you're like working a side job, or high school, you're working a side job, none of that stuff matters there because you can, like, this isn't the end all be all and you can get up.
That's true.
But when you're an adult, for some reason, you feel like you have to stay.
Stay forever.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you can
Mm-mm.
still get up and leave and get a new job.
No, that's what that self-worth is all about. If you're feeling like that underappreciated, like, "Nope, I'm gone. This is what I want." Knowing your true passion.
And be peace out.
Yeah, yeah, I have quite a few people come to me, the, LM what am I? FMLA.
There we
Like,
go. There we go.
I'm about to say LMFAL,
Yeah, these are environments that happen. You don't have to stay in this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. One last question before we leave. If somebody's like really hurting right now, what is at least one thing they could do to kind of help switch their mind if they're feeling
I would
deep?
say reach out for support. That's what they need to do because right now, this is obviously too much for them. So reach out for support. If it's a family, if it's a spouse, if it's, um, a mentor, if it's somebody, reach out and let somebody know.
Tell
Because
somebody.
yes, because at that point, you're not working on all four cylinders. You're not
And
firing
then,
on all cylinders.
yeah,
You need
happens.
support. So I think that let somebody know so that we can like take over and do that executive functioning or get you in to see someone or like just let someone know. Like that's the biggest thing. Like kids, adults, anyone, let someone know so we can at least have a fighting chance. Because right now, once you're to that point, a lot of people are no longer like thinking logically.
Correct. Yeah. So you got to get the help so we can help you get back to that logic thinking. And DrEnjoyLife.com, I see patients for medication and therapy. If you're at Georgia Tech, is where you can find doctors and physicians.
Or my side gig on Lakshmi Health and Wellness.
Oh, yes. There it is. Now wait, so that's for the health and wellness. Do you see patients for therapy and medication or just
Mhm, mhm,
oh man, I should have had your website out. Okay. But you're at I had your Instagram up earlier.
mhm.
But yes, say your website again.
Um, health healthcenter.net.
Got it. Okay. Great. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. I love having you back. This is still not the last one. We could talk forever, but we're gonna go ahead and end it.
Do.
I hope everybody watched this. This is a good one about suicide. Real raw information here.
Let someone know, please.
Yes. Thank you so much. And thank you for listening and thank you for your comments.
This has been an Enjoy Life production. If you're in a crisis, don't hesitate. Call, text, or chat 988 for immediate support. Please note, this podcast is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional treatment. If you're looking for therapy or medication management through Enjoy Life, visit www.DrEnjoyLife.com to request a consultation. I'm licensed in 12 states. I accept Aetna in Georgia, Florida, and Virginia. Be sure to grab your copy of the Enjoy Note to help you on your wellness journey. Also, check out Inspire Joy for the wife, mom, boss to help you balance it all without losing yourself. Better yet, get the full Joy bundle for just $45. Remember, Journey to Joy Live is every Thursday at 7 p.m. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, may you continue to transform stress into joy.